First question, we've talked about this a few times in our meetings. ALX writes, why don't you show some trailers on the screen behind you?
That's actually a
you mean right
question.
there?
Right there.
Yeah.
Why don't we put up some trailers? Okay, honestly, so here's a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. People are like, why don't you put on trailers, whatever. I instituted a rule about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago that we weren't going to show movie clips or trailers on our show. Why? Because YouTube has an itchy trigger finger when it comes to content claims and copyright. Like there was an example where a studio called me and said, hey, John, will you please play this clip that we're releasing for our movie? Will you? I didn't ask them, they asked us. Will you please play this clip for us? And it's a nice studio that we like. I said, sure, we'll play that clip for you. And so during Movie Talk one day, we said, hey guys, we want you to check out this new clip from this upcoming movie, so-and-so. So we play the clip. 2 days later, our YouTube account gets suspended. And it's like, we can't live stream, we can't do it. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm communicating with YouTube. The studio, do you have proof that the studio gave you permission? They asked us to put this on. And so, like, and remember, it's not a bunch of people, a bunch of Poindexters sitting around in an office, like watching every single YouTube channel. They've got these specific algorithms set up that it just automatically triggers, and all of a sudden your channel gets shut down until you get it cleared up. So I just decided, you know what? It's not worth the hassle for every time it happens, so we're just not going to do it. So that's why when we do Star Wars commentaries, people say, why don't you put the movie in the corner while you're commentating? Because we'll get shut down. Why don't we play the trailers that we're talking about? Because we'll get shut down. I mean, it's not a huge, it's not necessarily a probability that we will, but the possibility is there. And believe you me, it is a painful sting in the ass when you got to go through the process of getting your channel put back up. It's a great question, but that's why you don't see us.
Every time we play a trailer, the studio sends their goons. And they're like, hey, yo, it's some money this week.
Break your legs.
Apologize.
Anything else? Or what's next?
Donald Long writes, thoughts on Elizabeth Banks being cast as the villain in the new Power Rangers movie.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now, this new Power Rangers movie is one of the dumbest pieces of buttfuck news I've heard in like a very, very long time.
What was that?
Being said,
Buttfuck news? Look at the Buttfuck news. It is Shit Day Tuesday here on Buttfuck News.
Buttfuck News, where we bring the best buttfuckery around.
I'll break
Buttfuck
your
News.
legs.
That's right.
I'll break your leg.
What are you watching? Buttfuck News. Oh, did it start already?
With the mouth.
It's about three
So-
buttfucks in.
So, everybody knows I think it was a stupid idea for them to move ahead with this movie anyway, but there are ways that they could do that might turn out cool. And even I, the guy who says that, have got to say, and this is probably exactly what their strategy was, the addition of Elizabeth Banks, because for those of you who don't know, this was made official this morning. Well, not official, but the Hollywood Reporter is putting this out, that Elizabeth Banks is signed on to play Rita, the villain in the Power Rangers. And I got to say, for a doubter like me, all of a sudden, that project's got a little bit more credibility to me. All of a sudden, now even I, the one who's been saying all along, oh, I think this is a stupid idea, even I am now having to sit up and go, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that they got an Elizabeth Banks in there to do that. It would have been really cool to see like a Ming Na in there playing Rita, and I'm not even 100% sure it's going to be Rita she's playing. They're just saying she's going to play the villain. Even I got to go, that's pretty cool. And now I'm kind of going to keep my eye on this project to see how this goes, because maybe they might have something up their sleeves for us. What did you think about the news?
I think she adds a lot of. I mean, there are times when she's in comedies that don't really work. I didn't love her as directing Pitch Perfect 2, even though it hell with what I say. The movie made a shit ton of money. But I think that in regards to her as cast, and in this, she certainly showed that she added a lot in the Hunger Games franchise. I
loved her in that.
Yeah, so I think that it makes a lot of sense to add her. I think it adds a little bit more validity to the project. So yeah, I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, the character of Effie Trinket was one of my favorite things about any of the Hunger Games movies. And then, Elizabeth Banks, as every actress and actor does, they have some missteps, whether it be the Pitch Perfect 2 not being as funny as the first one, or the Walk of Shame movie she did, which I just felt really fell flat.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily her fault. And as somebody who grew up not liking the Power Rangers, because I always thought all their villains were wearing latex suits, apparently there's going to be more to it. I don't know who this Rita person is, but Elizabeth Banks would be one of my front runners to be in that project. Her being in there lends a little more validity to what the Power Rangers movie could be.
Shep.
Yeah, like Ben Kingsley, everybody needs to get a paycheck. And,
Just single
I
out.
think
So
this
you're
movie-
playing the role of John Campia right now.
I think this movie is going to suck. It's gonna suck. I don't care who they cast in it. They could get 500 people who are amazing. Screw this movie.
I have been in love with Elizabeth Banks ever
I think
since
she's
40-Year-Old
great.
Virgin.
I'd say I hope she got a lot of money.
Do you remember her in 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I totally. How could you
really
forget
She
her?
was so funny in that.
Steve Carell.
And
That
then
is graphic.
I think the follow-up one, she was in other things, obviously, but I think the one I saw in her in immediately after that was Slither. And I just love Slither, and her role in Slither was so good. All right, what else do we got?
Been in a lot of really good movies and now a couple of stinkers.
Jared Meyer writes, thoughts on movies shot digitally versus on film. Do you guys notice the difference?
Oh man, I wish Dennis was on camera right now. He would. Dennis is
Just yell, Dennis. Just yell.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'll say this:
ahead.
like Tangerine is a movie that's on Netflix right now.
Is that the Maz Kanata story?
No, that's Orange Yoda. That's my,
Orange Yoda.
my favorite film on Netflix, Orange Yoda. No, it's this film that's shot all with an iPhone, and there's a couple of scenes in this film that you can actually see a digital artifact, like an actual line, and you can tell it's shot digitally, but it doesn't matter. I think when you go see a film like Star Wars, if you saw a digital artifact in the middle of the frame of the film, people would be upset and they'd be like, what is going on? Certain films need to be really well shot, and digital can do it and film can do it. In other films, you can be a little more forgiving. You could see the kind of digital, flatness in certain ways. I mean, it depends on budget. You could tell when a film is shot digitally, but the line is getting less and less every year. That you can't really tell now because of the techniques and the ability to make digital look like film.
I think on the whole, I don't really notice it when I'm in a movie theater, but if I'm prepared for it ahead of time, like with Star Wars, and they're shooting on film, and I'm like, oh, okay, so now I know what to expect. If you guide me a little bit, I can get into it, but it's kind of like, Miller Lite versus Coors Light. If you blindfold me, I probably couldn't tell the difference, but once I start drinking and I see what the label is, I can prefer one or the other, or both.
Yeah, I digital is the way to go. I mean, I know there are some filmmakers today that are very nostalgic about using film as a medium. I got no problem with anybody using film as a medium. I have a little bit of a problem with some of the filmmakers who are like, film is the only way to do it. Shut the fuck up. And I think it just makes so much more sense from a filmmaking perspective. But I mean, either or. It doesn't matter which one you prefer or don't prefer. Me personally, I prefer the really good high-end digital stuff. But I can go into a movie watching it on film and say that looks spectacular too. It's just gotten to that point. You're absolutely right, Schnepp. They've gotten to that point where the line has gotten so thin, and it's going to continue to blur even more. So really, when I go into a film now, one of the last things I'm worried about is, was this shot on film or was it shot digitally?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I'm going to echo Mark's sentiments. If you tell me about it like beforehand, I'll be looking for it. But when I'm in there and they say, it was digital. Oh yeah, I'm so into the story and the characters and stuff too that I don't have like the filmmaker's eye that you do, to where you're looking at it, looking for it. So
as soon as the movie comes on, I'm like, man, their heads are big. Right. How big the screen is.
Well, it's also it really has come down now to the director of the cinematographer.
Yeah.
The lighting, how you light video is very much different than how you light film. So that's where you have the magic really happening now. So.
All right, what's next?
Carrie Smart kind of asked this in a roundabout way, saying, making a murderer movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, it's a great idea, but there's a couple things you got to keep in mind. It's a great idea, yes, but let's say some studio like the idea of it right now, right? It's a full year until minimum. If they greenlit it right now, started the process of finding actors and directors and get a script together, and then get your production crew together, get pre-production, scout the locations, go out, shoot the movie, do post, and put it out. You're talking about a year. And this is a very trendy thing, making a murderer. It's a very trendy thing, but where's that trend going to be a year from now? I'm not really sure. But the other thing is this. There's still a lot of question marks surrounding that whole thing. Because now you got the dude's fiance coming out saying she lied in his defense. And I was like, I don't know. So I think you got to, if you're a producer, you got to be really careful. It's like, if we did a movie about this, where do we fall? Where do we come down on?
Right.
We coming down on his side? Yes. It's a very cool question. I don't know how to answer it, though. Mark, how would you answer it?
You answer it with either Oxygen or Lifetime Network. They can crank those things out. They had the British Nanny movie like 2 weeks after it came out. You give Tori Spelling a call, you see if she's busy, and you get this movie in the works. Because, look, I'm in the middle of making a murder, so I haven't seen the ending yet, the conclusion. My girlfriend has not only seen the whole thing, she's also read all the outside speculation.
Aliens are involved. Mark, I just spoiled it for you.
See, this is why
Alien
this movie
abductions.
needs to get made. Do it now. If we can get an OJ movie, I don't want to have to wait like 20 years to see the Making a Murderer movie. I want to see it now.
I don't. I'm not part of the crew. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything. I know.
Gosh,
I know.
you're missing out.
Don't judge me, Mova. So I don't know. I can't say whether or not.
Here's why it's horrifying though, and this is why I even feel bad. I'm sure a lot of you guys too. Is that like we've gone as a society from being entertained by fake crime stories, like I'm just gonna go watch a show and that person died. This is like a real thing that happened. This is like a real murder that took place, and we're all just sitting there shoving popcorn on our face watching Netflix. So it feels a little icky.
No, I wasn't eating popcorn. I was yelling at the screen. I was so angry.
You were really invested
I
in
was
it.
so angry by like the 5th episode. Like, how can that happen? I wanted to break the TV in half and like drive to that horrible town and blow it up. Yeah, I personally, I don't want to see a movie about it. I would rather they figure out, what happened in the actual reality. And is the guy in jail? Is he guilty or innocent? It's still unknown.
You know what I'd love to see is a movie based on the Serial story.
Yes.
The
Oh my
Serial
gosh,
podcast
yes.
is really, really engaging, and that's
At
just
least
an
season
audio
1.
thing. So yeah.
At least season 1. All right, last question of the day.
All right. Michael Martinez writes, director you all think is overrated.
Overrated.
Tim Burton.
Ooh, good one, and that's a really good answer.
I like him a lot. And I respect him a lot. But the amount of hype he gets, Del Toro. I know. I love the guy, and I think visually he's amazing. But he's like this. I think he's got like really like 3 really good movies. But the amount what he gets right now, I don't know if he deserves the amount of love. I really do like the guy.
I think Roland Emmerich is overrated.
I don't know anybody that
He's
likes
underrated.
him. I don't know if you can call him overrated if nobody really likes him that
People
much.
keep giving him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, yeah, he gets
Somebody
jobs,
has
but I don't know if you can call him overrated.
Yeah,
since
I'll
nobody
say
likes
Rennie
him.
Harlan. I know you guys love Cutthroat Island, just not a big a fan. I can't really. I think Tim Burton's probably it's a really good one. Del Toro's a really good one as far as an overrated. Like I would even throw Zack Snyder in that boat until I actually see Batman versus Superman. Then all the pub and all the stuff that he's getting make it worth my while because I didn't love Man of Steel. Don't hit me.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on.